Don't wrap it. Hello, my holly jolly friends, is what I would be saying if I'd recorded this before Christmas as I originally intended, but I didn't, so let's take this off. We'll keep the winter background and stuff, though, because it is still winter, it's just not Christmas anymore. Anyway, I'm here today because it is that time of year again. That's right, time to start wildly speculating about what Nintendo will do next year. Here's the thing, though. This was, without a doubt, the hardest predictions video I have ever had to write. To put it lightly, 2020 was a weird year. Things didn't really operate like they normally do. And there's a good chance that Nintendo projects slated for 2020 that we haven't even heard of yet have been delayed. At this point, we don't even know what 2021 could possibly look like. Will things go back to normal? Is Nintendo having a harder time developing their games than we realize? Will we get 10 major game releases? Or only one? Who knows? Also, honestly, these videos get harder with each passing year because I'm using up all my best predictions. There's a lot of stuff I predicted for 2020 that didn't come true, but very well could come true in 2021. I want this video to be entertaining, so I don't want to pick a bunch of the same stuff again, but I also want to be kind of realistic. I do want to predict some stuff accurately. Normally, I try to go with a mix of safe picks and wacky ones because Nintendo themselves like to surprise us with wacky announcements. They frequently act in ways that we do not expect. That's why these videos are always a balancing act. And this time, I guess I've got to also balance in some old predictions without making everything feel stale, so what I'm really trying to say is that you'll have to bear with me here. I'm doing the best I can. And in case you're new to these videos, apart from the couple third-party games we already know we're getting, this is pretty much all just first-party and/or exclusive Nintendo stuff. Digging deep into the world of third parties is just too much of a thing to handle. Also, the first thing I'm gonna do is give you my predictions, then I'll go over last year's predictions and see if any of them came true. In the 2020 video, I celebrated accurately predicting Animal Crossing New Horizons' whole island concept, Pat Pat. So, did I make another incredible prediction this time? You'll just have to wait and see. Or, just remember, like if you watched that video, you probably already know if I got anything right, but everyone else, you'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, put that back on there. Sorry, must have done it unconsciously. I really like Christmas. Anyway, with that awkward introduction out of the way, here it is, folks. Here is what I think Nintendo is going to get up to in the year 2021. My very first prediction is one that encompasses the entire year. I predict that there will be no traditional Nintendo Directs in 2021. As I talked about in a recent video on the subject, I believe that breaking things up into individual surprise announcements with treehouses and partner showcases and game or series-specific directs to supplement is simply the new norm. The format offers a lot of benefits for Nintendo, so I think they're gonna stick to it. It will be a little disappointing for fans of the old format, such as myself, but it'll be hard to complain as long as the announcements keep coming. But now let's dive into specifics. January, Nintendo will kick off the year by hyping up Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. They'll give us a new trailer, finally filling us in on what the new content's about. People are wondering if the weird overworld kind of thing indicates any unusual or unexpected content, but really it's just gonna be a new collection of levels tied together with this little hub where you can run around and climb and have some fun. The content, however, will be very cool, with plenty of brand new mechanics. Perhaps best of all, though, this will be the most challenging content in the game for people who thought the original game's special worlds weren't quite enough. Later in the month, Nintendo will have a treehouse presentation on the game, and during that stream, they'll also give us the news that Super Mario Bros. 35 isn't being removed from the eShop in March. They don't know how long it'll stick around, but at least for the time being, we can keep playing. However, there will be no word on 3D All-Stars or Fire Emblem, which will feel weird. January will also see the year's first partner showcase, as well as the first surprise announcement, a new F-Zero, kinda. This is F-Zero S. It's a lower budget game with a bit of a softer, more cartoony, cel-shaded art style. It's strictly online, and obviously it's all about racing other folks. It's free to start, so you can download the game and race on one track, but you've got to purchase additional tracks. It's basically a light version of F-Zero, and it will release immediately after its announcement. While many hardcore fans will lament getting what feels like a bit of a stripped-down F-Zero experience that doesn't live up to the graphical potential the series has on modern hardware, plenty of others will feel that the gameplay is still very fun, and that it's certainly better than nothing. Plus, maybe this is Nintendo testing the series' viability. You never know. January will clearly be a decently busy month, and my final prediction is something a little new. A year of Nintendo isn't just a year of reveals and releases. It's also a year of rumors. And in January 2021, even more solid Switch Pro rumors will start pouring in from very reliable sources. They'll all say the new little system will be released in spring. Next up, February. This will be another fairly busy month. No More Heroes 3 will get a new trailer, fully revealing the scope of the game, along with a June release date. February will also see the release of both Bravely Default 2 and Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, naturally. Reviews of the latter will be great, and the game will make it to the top 10 list in a matter of minutes. This month we'll see a number of other reveals and bits of news. Most of these will come from Pokémon in the form of the year's first Pokémon Direct. And 2021 being the 25th anniversary of them little monsters what go in your pocket, the company's got a lot of stuff planned. There'll be the usual little side stuff and merch and all that. Then the Direct will spend a good chunk of time on Pokémon Unite, which will launch a few days later. It will also give us a full reveal of new Pokémon Snap, along with a May release date. Then Beyond Games will also get news of a brand new limited anime series where Ash and Pikachu get separated when visiting the Kanto region. Pikachu teams up with a wild Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander and goes on a quest to find and eventually rescue him. The series is a trip down memory lane, with the team revisiting old locations and even characters from the first season of the show. The 12-episode Pokémon Genesis will come exclusively to Netflix. The final thing to happen in February will be Nintendo's first major retail game reveal of the year, Mario Golf Dimensional Tour. I know I predicted Mario Golf Platinum Tour last year, but a new Mario Golf is just so inevitable that I've got to predict it again. This time though, I've got a different idea. In Dimensional Tour, our favorite Mushroom Kingdom denizens have to play against bizarre parallel universe versions of themselves. They also play on courses based on classic Mushroom Kingdom locations and themes, but all with a weird parallel twist. Mario Golf Dimensional Tour will be slated for April. March, here we'll get another partner showcase, but more excitingly, another anniversary direct. This time, a 35th anniversary direct for none other than The Legend of Zelda. This will give us a lot of different merch, including a new graphic novel called Tales from Hyrule. It'll be a collection of stories within the Zelda universe, each one created by a different artist. Based on this announcement, I'll make a whole video about how much potential there is in the idea of Zelda graphic novels, and how I hope Nintendo is planning to do a million more with an epic ongoing story, even though they clearly aren't. The Zelda Direct will give us a brand new trailer for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. It will be very teasery, giving us more questions than answers, but it will clue us in a little more on the game's theme, give us a solid November release window, and also give us a name: Breath of Malice. The Direct will also reveal some DLC for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which will be a pretty basic expansion. It won't introduce a bunch of story content, but it will give us new characters and challenge missions and special weapons to use with the pre-existing characters and just a bunch of bonus stuff. I can't talk about what characters may or may not be included because that would spoil some stuff for people who haven't played the game yet, but it'll be cool. And finally, we'll get the reveal of, wait for it, The Legend of Zelda 35. Man, Arlo, you're really getting them creative juices pumping, aren't you? What an incredible prediction that no one else would ever make. Get off my back, I told you it's been a weird year. Anyway, Zelda 35 will be a little different from Mario 35. It'll actually have two completely different modes, both utilizing the basic layout of the original Legend of Zelda on NES. One will be called The Missing Links. Here, 5 players have to hide throughout the map, and the other 30 players have to find them before time runs out. Players can do little shouts to alert other players, as with many other online Nintendo games. Then the second mode will be called Team Adventure. Here, everyone is split into 2 teams, with the odd player going to whoever wins the coin flip, and each team has to run around the map collecting Triforce pieces. Naturally, whoever collects the most when time runs out wins. The shout system is also used here so that players can call for someone with the right tool to overcome an obstacle. I must mention that in both modes, the map is remixed. Items and enemies and even obstacles move around, meaning players always have to work together. And as with Mario 35, the better players prefer form, the more rupees they get for buying their little icons. The Legend of Zelda 35 will release near the end of March. The month will also see the release of Monster Hunter Rise, though as with Bravely Default 2, that's not really a prediction, that's just a thing that we know will happen, so I guess I should mention it. I don't know. April. This month will give us a Spring Indie World Showcase, and it'll be the Silksong one, you heard it here, and the release of the DLC for Age of Calamity, along with Mario Golf Dimensional Tour, which will be preceded by a Treehouse presentation. There will only be one major reveal this month, and it will be the next Smash fighter, Crash. There was once a time when Crash felt like a bit of a long shot, but considering the fighters we've gotten recently, and especially considering the character just got a new game, I think he'd be a perfect pick. Next one's Crash, I'm telling you. April will also give us our next juicy rumor. Multiple resources will report that Nintendo is working on Super Mario Odyssey 2. This will also spur me to make a video on what I want from an Odyssey sequel. Unfortunately, we won't find out if there's any truth to the rumor before the year is up. May. This month will see the release of new Pokemon Snap as well as another game reveal. A remake of Super Metroid, developed by Mercury Steam, who did Samus Returns on the 3DS. It'll be a pretty by-the-numbers remake. It'll be modernized and tweaked, but won't take nearly as much liberty as Samus Returns did. It'll look really pretty, though. The game will be slated for July. Very sadly, Metroid won't get its own special anniversary direct with a bunch of new projects and goodies and all that. But in the reveal trailer, we will get a special little message from series producer Kensuke Tanabe, followed by the vaguest, teaseriest of teasers for Metroid Prime 4. It will barely show anything, but along with Tanabe's words, it will communicate that development is coming along well. And that will be enough for me to make a video on, I'm sure. June. This will be another fairly busy month. There will be another partner showcase. No More Heroes 3 will release. Then the moment many have been waiting for. Bayonetta 3 will get a full reveal. I don't know enough about the series to predict what the game will be like, but it's Platinum Games, so it'll look super crazy and epic and amazing, and fans will lose their minds. Like most of the games revealed in 2021, it will be slated for only a few months later in September. There will also be another Pokemon Direct, and this will be the big one. Loads of little things, as well as two major announcements. One will be for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. We've all been expecting it. I predicted it last year. I want to be more creative with these predictions, but it just makes too much sense. 2021 is Diamond and Pearl's 15th anniversary. They're next in line for remakes. We're overdue for more remakes. It's just gotta happen. And I could try to come up with some new stuff, but I'll give poor Kane a break and let him use the mock-ups he created last year. There they are. They're very nice. The games will be slated for October. The second major announcement will be a new Pokemon Stadium game. Though, as with F-Zero S, this is another smaller game for NSO members. It's called Pokemon Stadium Max. The whole idea is that it links with Pokemon Home, so you can battle other people using any of the Pokemon you've acquired in Pokemon Go and any Switch Pokemon titles, including the upcoming remakes. No imported legacy monsters, though, which will obviously come as a disappointment to many. There are also mini-games and such to take part in, this time using your Pokemon themselves. Dynamax battles play a large part in the game, and people can even play as the Pokemon in raid battles against other players, thus the name. The game is free to play and monetized in two primary ways. The first is an energy system. You can only battle so many times before your energy runs out and you've got to wait around or buy more. The second is buying teams. Even people who don't own any Pokemon games will be able to rent Pokemon to fight with, but if they want to keep a Pokemon forever and even change its moves and all that, they've got to pay. Pokemon Stadium Max will obviously act as something of a demo experience for the uninitiated, a free launching point for people just considering getting into the games for the first time. It'll be released near the end of the month, and while people will very much dislike the way it's monetized, it will nevertheless garner a tremendous number of downloads and make a lot of money. And finally, in June, we'll notice that it's summer already and Nintendo hasn't revealed the Switch Pro, leading us to wonder if the rumors were true. July. This month will give us the release of the Super Metroid remake. As with basically every Metroid game ever, it will sell poorly thanks to circumstances that are not its fault. It's a remake of a super old game without a significant amount of new content priced at a full $60, so many potential newcomers will be put off by the idea that it's so old, and many series veterans won't want to spend the money on a game they've already played countless times. And the cycle of Metroid's lukewarm sales will continue. On the positive side, though, July will also see the full reveal of Breath of Malice. Last year, I already came up with this whole concept for the game. Kane did a whole bunch of awesome art, and now I pretty much have to do it all again, or else this video really will be too safe and boring. So, here we go. Sorry, Kane. Breath of the Void, out. Breath of Malice, here we go. With Ganondorf freed from the magical seal holding him deep underground, he plunges all of Hyrule into darkness, sending its denizens into hiding and transforming its creatures into terrifying beasts. We learn that Hyrule Castle was built upon an ancient temple, and as a failsafe, the castle is lifted way up into the sky to escape the spread of malice below. A number of other hidden underground temples also lift into the sky, creating a little world above the world. Link navigates all this using his new companion, who looks like some kind of robotic pterodactyl. The flying mechanic is very similar to the one in Skyward Sword, except you can go anywhere you want, giving you much more freedom of exploration early on. The temple under the castle and other risen temples, along with the holes left behind, offer a lot of new territory to explore. Breath of Malice will look positively incredible, and the whole game and all its promotional material will feature this very particular visual theme with darkness below and vibrant twilight sunset sky above. The game will be slated for a November release. August. This month will give us the Summer Indie World Showcase, along with another Smash reveal. I was gonna pick Rayman again, but it feels too obvious. He's just another platformer guy after Crash, and he would be another Western character. I gotta go with Dr. Eggman again. It's just too perfect. He's super iconic, he goes along with the heroes and villains theme, it's gotta happen. And we're running out of super impactful picks here, so I say Dr. Eggman is pretty up there when it comes to likeliness. I know I'd like that. I mean, I will like that when it happens, because all of this will happen. All of it. I promise. September. This month will give us another partner showcase, as expected, along with a Treehouse presentation and the subsequent release of Bayonetta 3. And right when we had just started to give up on the Switch Pro rumors, Nintendo will hit us with a reveal trailer. Turns out the rumors were true, they just had the time frame wrong. And as with last year's video, I predict that it will be called the Switch Plus. Same screen resolution, disappointingly, but slightly bigger screen, more power for running games at higher resolutions and frame rates, and all that good stuff. Plus, kind of randomly, Bluetooth for using wireless headphones. I'll also stick to my pricing plan from last year, $350 for the Switch Plus, bumping the base model down to $250 and the Switch Lite remaining the same. Also, obviously, the marketing will go on and on about how the Switch Plus is the best way to play Breath of Malice. In the realm of rumors once again, near the end of September, a rumor will start circulating that Nintendo is working on a new Fire Emblem game. Specifically, a game taking place immediately after Three Houses on the timeline and using a lot of the same concepts, like the whole school thing. It will be another very solid rumor, though once again, we won't find out if it's real before the end of the year. October. This month we'll get them Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, and they'll be what you expect. At least as good as the originals, with some modernizations and new features and Dynamaxing and all that stuff. The graphics won't be any better than those in Sword and Shield, and people will grumble about it, but there won't be nearly as much controversy. The games will just sort of come out and sell really, really well, and that'll be that. October will also give us a Treehouse presentation for Breath of Malice. November. This month will give us the last partner showcase of the year, along with the release of both the Switch Plus and Breath of Malice. My review will, unfortunately, not be completed by the end of the year. And finally, December. Apart from one last Indie World Showcase, this month will give us one major thing, and it will be the very final Smash Ultimate Fighter reveal. It won't be at the Game Awards, though, it'll be in its own special presentation. And the final fighter will be... Okay, I'm really bummed. I originally had a great gag plan for this part. I was gonna go into a big thing about how after all these years, I was finally ready to admit that putting Geno into Smash didn't make any real sense and that it definitely wasn't gonna happen. Then, right at the end, I was gonna be like, and that's exactly why the last fighter is gonna be Geno! You know, because Nintendo never does what you expect and all that. I thought it was a really great way to end the video, but Sephiroth brought the Geno Mii costume back, so we already know that he's officially out, and these predictions have to be at least somewhat plausible, so we gotta go with something else. But who can you possibly pick for the last fighter in the last Fighters Pass in the ultimate Smash game, the likes of which we may never see again? It's got to be someone truly special. It's got to be one final surprise that we could have never seen coming. And that's why I'm picking wireframe. Yeah, like the wireframes from Melee. Except this is Wireframe Ultimate. This is a fully customizable character. Every single one of its moves can be pulled from other fighters. You can pick and choose whatever you want, and every time it uses a different move, it transforms into the shape of the character the move originated from, giving it a very hectic kind of feel. Wireframe Ultimate can't be used in any ranked online modes because it's too powerful and unpredictable naturally, but it's so fun to play it'll create a whole meta of its own. Sakurai will cheekily suggest that the character is secretly him. And with that bizarre news, Nintendo will close out another year. So there you go. Oh, jeez! You are going over there! I'm sorry, I can't help it. I just don't want it to not be Christmas anymore. Anyway, there you go! That's how I think 2021 is going to go in the world of Nintendo. But before we go, it's time to go over last year's predictions and see how I did. Did I get any major announcements right? Do we have another Animal Crossing Island Life on our hands? Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Better keep watching and find out. First, I predicted a big January Direct, which we most certainly did not get. I predicted a reveal for Pikmin 4, which we did not get, though we did get that port of 3, plus I did mention the game having co-op through the whole campaign, which ended up being a new feature in 3 Deluxe, so I give myself like 10% credit or something. I also predicted a reveal of Mario Golf Platinum Tour, which did not happen. Then a Super Mario 3D World port, which did end up getting revealed, but it was inevitable, and I've probably predicted it 100 times, so that wasn't too impressive. Kinda sad to say. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 Switch, that was not a thing. Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Land style packs for Super Mario Maker 2, not that either. Same with Geno and Travis Touchdown in Smash. Travis Touchdown did end up getting a Mii Fighter costume. 4% credit? 5%? Oh man, not off to a great start. Next, I predicted that Animal Crossing New Horizons would be a massive success and completely invade social media for a month. Unfortunately, I was wrong. It was more like 2 or 3 months. Yes, the game has been quite the success for Nintendo, so I guess I was right about that. The series was always popular, but it will never be quite the same after this. Then I predicted another Direct in March. We did get a mini, but it didn't reveal much beyond Clubhouse games. I predicted something about Luigi's Mansion DLC, but I was just throwing in what we already knew we were getting, so that's basically nothing. Super Mario Party 2, that didn't happen, though as with Mario Golf, it really does feel like a new title is inevitable, so I'll be mad if it happens next year because I didn't want to predict it again this year and sound too much like a broken record. Anyway, I predicted Rayman and Smash last year as well. That didn't happen. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC with a bunch more characters from outside the Mario universe. That didn't happen, which is a bummer because I think that's a great idea. All these spin-offs are making people hungry for new Mario Kart content. And 8 is still selling so well, they probably don't want to give us a 9 this generation. So, DLC. It's perfect. Whatever. After that, I predicted a Pokemon Direct announcing the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and we ended up getting Sword and Shield DLC instead, which, in retrospect, makes so much sense. Gosh, I tried to be so safe with these predictions, and it just blew up in my face, didn't it? Then I predicted a great big E3 Direct in June. It was going to give us a full reveal of the sequel to Breath of the Wild, titled Breath of the Void. And my idea was super cool and Kane's drawings were super great, but that obviously did not happen. Then Bayonetta 3 full reveal, no. Dr. Eggman in Smash, no. Super Mario RPG remake, very sadly no. Golly, that would be so cool. And it would make Geno a lot more viable as a Smash pick. Oh well. Then I predicted all that stuff about the Switch Plus, which didn't happen, but will happen in 2021, you'll see. Then it was a 4th traditional Nintendo Direct, which seems very silly in hindsight, doesn't it? This was going to include a new Kirby game called Kirby Star Force. No. Also a Monster Hunter rep in Smash, which I've predicted about 60 times now, and I am officially retiring. It still seems like a good idea to me. Monster Hunter is huge, Capcom loves Nintendo, there are new products coming out all over the place. but I just can't stand being wrong about it anymore. Calling it now, no Monster Hunter rep in Smash ever. For the September Direct, I also predicted the reveal of a brand new Nintendo IP, and this is definitely the wrong prediction that makes me the most sad. Nintendragons was going to be like Nintendogs, except with dragons, and it was going to be awesome, and I've become weirdly attached to the idea. But Nintendo very rudely neglected to make the game, and I am very disappointed. Rest in peace, Nintendragons. You could have been great. As some people pointed out, when I brought up the launch of the Switch Plus and Breath of the Void, I talked about staying in my house for a month, and I did end up unwittingly making one prediction that feels oddly accurate considering current events. Food deliveries will be appreciated. They have been indeed. And finally, I predicted that Master Chief would be announced for Smash at the Game Awards. That did not happen, and now that Smash has got 2 Microsoft reps, I don't think it will happen. The Game Awards did end up revealing Master Chief in Fortnite, though. That's just as good, right? I was right, I just got the game wrong. So it turns out the answer was no. I didn't get much right at all. Bet you're glad you stuck around to find out, though. I'm just as surprised as you are. Trust me. Arlo? Wrong? 2020 truly has been a strange year. And with that, we reach the end. Predictions videos are always tough, and this year was the toughest of all, but they're also a ton of fun. And I love seeing how many people look forward to them each year. That's seriously motivating. It's so much easier to push through a difficult project when I know how many people are going to enjoy watching it. So thanks so much if you've been sticking with us all the years we've been doing this. Also, give it up for Kane for doing all the amazing art in this video. He was really looking forward to doing it, and he did an awesome job, and he should be really proud of himself because I'm really proud of him, and I love him, and you should love him too, so go tell him how awesome he did. And of course, you know what I want. I want your predictions down in those comments. Make them safe, make them wacky, make them whatever you want. It's Nintendo, so either side of the scale is completely reasonable. I mean, remember when they revealed a cardboard game? A cardboard game? Nothing's too wacky. Just go nuts. Jeez, might as well predict a cottage cheese game or something. Yeah, maybe next year.